Hate is one of the strongest words in the English dictionary. When some of you think of the word hate, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Some of you may say your job. Some of you may say you hate to eat asparagus. Some of you may hate the pimple that pops up on your face after every 2 weeks. When I think of the word hate, I think of Sledgehammer's Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Exo Zombies. This game has been one of, if not the worst zombies experience I have ever had to suffer through. For some odd reason, you guys wanted a retrospective type video made on this game, and I am here to give it to you. And if you're expecting nice things to be said about this game, I will truly try my best. But there are way more bad things than there are good things to say about this game. Today, we're going to discuss the gameplay, story, the maps, and a couple of good compliments about the game, because I don't want it to just be a hate fest. Shameless plug, of course, I have to add one. But I get all of my footage live on twitch.tv/LLL and might even stream on YouTube every now and then. So be on the lookout for it if you want to be a part of the behind the scenes type thing of making these videos and getting all this footage and putting this stuff together. But let's get right into the gameplay. First, what I want to talk about is the gameplay. And I'm going to include the maps in this section too. The maps we have in this game are as followed: Outbreak, Infection, Carrier, and Descent. The map names are actually kind of interesting and cool, actually talking about the story going on through the maps, with Outbreak being the beginning of the initial outbreak and so forth, but I'm getting ahead of myself. I will save that for the story. There are 2 out of 4 maps that are good, and solely for one reason, and it's a gameplay reason. In Infection, the map can just close you off from the map, and it is absolutely a pain in the ass because there is a chance, if you make it long enough, that every single outside section will just be closed and you'll be stuck in the sewer, which sucks given how fast and agile these zombies are, considering that your exosuit needs space to actually use. Makes it just about impossible to use in the sewer with the space that you were given. Plus, another thing in the Infection, there are survivors that pop up occasionally and you have to save them. First one's really easy, and doing it gives you a free pack-a-punch tier. But after that first one, they get incredibly hard because the zombies now have exosuits, are 10 times faster, and if you fail to save the survivor, which you most likely will, every single generator that you turned on will be turned off and disabled for a little amount of time. Also, your exosuit will be disabled for a little bit, but get used to it in Exo Zombies after round 15. You'll never use that thing. There's also incredibly spongy, fat ass boss that spawns in the map occasionally. I couldn't get him to spawn in my gameplay. It is completely random, but he will disable your exosuit literally all the time, and it takes so many bullets to kill him that when he spawns, you might as well just leave your game. Moving on to the second map that has a major issue with forcing you to do things, but it isn't as bad as Infection, and I actually kinda had fun with, is Carrier. This map's Easter egg is one of the most tedious Easter eggs I have ever attempted. And by the way, the only Easter egg I was able to complete in this game was Outbreak, because the others are incredibly hard and was actually pissing me off, and one of the reasons this video was taking so long to get out, because I kept retrying these Easter eggs, so I finally just said fuck it and gave up on them. The tedium in this map is the tedium in this map's Easter egg, Jesus Christ, is that it has the Victus Cruise part system from Buried, Die Rise, and Transit, where you can only carry one part per person. So when you need to kill 20 teleporting zombies and take what they drop to this little teleporter thing, it gets a bit rough, especially since after you do that, when you teleport to the island, do not forget to grab the shovel out of the ocean from fishing, but also keep in mind that you can't grab the fishing rod first, because then you will lose it when you pick up the teleporting zombie piece, and also doing all that is not even guaranteed that you will get what you need from the first time you do all of that. Because the outbreak stuff that you need to do where you shoot the card out of the ash is brought back, in which you're on an island and you have to dig up, I think it's a box. So yeah, it's fucking tedious and never needs to be added back into zombies. And it just needs to burn and die. It was the dumbest thing that they could have done. But the Easter egg isn't the only thing wrong about this map. This map has the same problem that Infection does, but this time there are bombs you can defuse. And if you don't defuse them, you're shit out of luck, and that section of the map will be cut off with gas for a little bit. Also, there are guards protecting the bomb with guns, and they have surgically accurate aim. But when you do kill them, you get a camouflage that doesn't blind you from the other guard, but it does keep the zombies away while you're defusing, which is nice. But the bad thing that every map has, it's 2 things that I can think of right now. Infected rounds and the Pack-a-Punch system. The infection rounds are the absolute worst. If you don't know what I'm talking about, infection rounds spawn a bunch of super fast, ugly green zombies that when hit by these zombies will cause you to be infected. Once infected, you have 60 seconds to get to a cure pad thing and cleanse yourself. Every time you are hit by a zombie, the time ticks lower and lower until you die. I like that they tried to do something different, but there are dog rounds in this game, so the infection rounds just are too much and isn't a good gameplay mechanic to have in zombies. Another thing that I dislike about the Advanced Warfare gameplay is the Pack-a-Punch system, where you need to Pack-a-Punch a total of I think 20, 25 times before your gun is at peak optimal performance. And a majority of the guns in the game are absolute trash, and you can't even distinguish what a wonder weapon is and what isn't. Wonder weapons are zombie exclusive weapons only, but every wonder weapon in Exo Zombies is available in the multiplayer mode. So it's kinda confusing which ones are wonder weapons and which ones aren't. And back to what I said earlier about never being able to use your exosuit, say thank you to these fuckers. This is what your average Exo Zombie gameplay will look like. With the maps and gameplay out of the way, let's get into this story. Thankfully, it isn't as complicated as the Treyarch zombie story. Black Ops 3, that thing was a fucking mess. One thing I do want to add is the cast of this game is absolutely amazing. Bill Paxton as Khan, who hasn't been in movies since the early 90s. Rose McGowan as Lilith, who was in the first fucking Scream movie. John Malkovich as Oz, which has been in probably every movie you have ever seen. Fucking Bruce Campbell, who played fucking Ash in Evil Dead. And motherfucking John Berthenol as Decker, who is fucking Shane in The Walking Dead and The Punisher, and more recently in His and Hers, which I heard is really good from all the Facebook moms that have been hyping it the fuck up on Facebook. But the cast of this game was absolutely incredible, and it is a damn shame that the game flopped with this incredible cast. But the story goes as this. Atlas Corporation was in a war with another country, or militia, or something. They dropped a bomb hoping to end the war that they were in, but instead created a zombie virus. They sent 3 platoons to the site of the bomb, and only 1 team came back alive. But they brought the other 2 squads back in body bags to research them or just see what killed them. The bodies of the soldiers came back to life. Jesus. Sorry, people. The bodies of the soldiers came back to life, unleashing a massive outbreak onto the world. There was no mention that the tests were going on. No one knew about it except for the higher-ups at Atlas. So when the outbreak got out, nobody knew what it was and what was going on. Oz being the first shown to see the infected as a janitor for Atlas cleaning the floors when he notices blood coming from one of the rooms. Investigating further, he finds the dead waiting. Lilith was an IT specialist monitoring the cameras at the time when she notices something odd on one of the cams. A man eating another man. Khan was the head of research at the time of the outbreak and was on the phone with someone. He's watching the footage that Lilith seen as he turns around asking for security. A bunch of rooms explode. Decker, being a security guard, was evacuating people when a giant horde rushes through the hallways. He miraculously escapes. These 4 meet up and were ready for evacuation before the last chopper explodes. These 4 do everything they can to get the clearance fighting through zombies to call in another evac that they can use to escape. This day was the first day that Lilith has ever shot a gun. It was also the first day that Khan had gotten his hands dirty. Decker was enjoying the fun that came with the chaos, but there's only so much ammo to go around for everyone. They were becoming overrun before Atlas showed up out of nowhere and saved their ass, knocking them out as well to carry them to a safe place. It is not known what happened on the way to where they were going, but I can only assume that the vehicle they were traveling in crashed and left them stranded in a little town. They fight through the horde to once again get some sort of evac so they can leave this place to safety. Finally getting an evac called, they once again are about to get overrun before Eagle 1 shows up, also being Captain Lennox, who works for Sentinel. He shoots Oz to everyone's surprise and explains that he isn't actually dead because he's infected. It turns out that Oz was a member at the prison's bomb site where the outbreak originated. He was brainwashed into becoming a janitor for the Atlas Corporation and is the sole purpose for the infection spreading so rapidly. And it just so happens to be that the rest of the crew is also dead at one point in time, being brought back by this crazy mutation that lives inside them but hasn't fully transformed them. And Atlas doesn't know why, but only hope to find out what and make a superhuman weapons out of them. Sentinel is transporting the crew while also fighting Atlas, who is right on their ass trying their hardest to get what Oz says their most prized possessions back. But while landing the aircraft, Oz is waking up and he isn't the human Oz that we saw before. Oz has made the boat that they're on a zombie wonderland, and the team decided to team up with Captain Lennox to blow up the boat and escape while they can. While escaping, Lilith hears something calling out to her from behind some boxes. Decker explains that it's just another zombie and shoots a couple of shots until Oz emerges from behind the boxes and shocks everyone. They escape through a lifeboat and start to think about what they have to do. Khan doesn't want to search for Oz, but the others know that searching for Oz and defeating him may be the only way to stop the zombie outbreak that is plaguing the world, being he is the source of it all. Lennox has picked up some chatter on a radio or some form of communication device that he has from an Atlas Black site, which is where they do a large majority of their research, and just so happens to be the place that Oz's zombie journey originated from. Oz is down there causing absolute chaos while the crew is above, taking out guards to make their way inside. Oz has completely taken control of the security and teleportation operations in the facility, and over time as the crew figures out how to hone in on Oz, they see him mutate over time while he teleports the team to him to fight him every now and then. They do manage to finally defeat Oz and burn his mutated body so that he doesn't come back. Lennox was promoted to Lieutenant Colonel for eradicating the source of the infection. Lennox helped Decker become a proper soldier for Sentinel, now fighting the front line against his formal employer. Khan, being tired of the blood and guns, has decided to take down Atlas the only way he knows how, by suing them, and the evidence he has against them is pretty damning. And Lilith will be right beside him through his legal battle against Atlas. But something still remains deep in the facility of Atlas, an entire storage facility of nothing but cloned versions of Oz as one wakes up. And that was the story of Exo Zombies. It sure is something. I tell you what, it's not the best zombie story I have ever heard, but it sure is a story, if I would say that. A couple of nice things that I can say about this game is that the story is not that bad at all. I mean, it's got its flaws, but it's nothing amazing. I'm trying to be nice. It's not a bad story. It's just nothing amazing. But one absolutely crazy thing is the cast in this game. It's one of the best I have seen in Call of Duty. The game for the first couple of rounds are actually kind of fun, but once you get past round 13, it just becomes an all-out fucking shit show with zombies coming faster than you and your exosuit being disabled for a majority of the game, unless it's a dog round or an infection round. There aren't a lot of good things I can say about this game, but I'm trying to cough up anything I can that is kind of cool or anything. But with that being said, Exo Zombies is a terrible experience, and I wouldn't recommend it for a first-time zombie player. It's definitely a game for more experienced players, or if you just want to kill zombies in chaos with your friends while jumping around with rocket packs. It will be a pretty fun experience with friends, but the solo experience is absolutely terrible. But this was my retrospective on Advanced Warfare's Exo Zombies. I hope that every single one of you have a blessed day, and I love each and every one of you guys. Intermission. Since I wasn't able to do a lot of these Easter eggs, I do not have the ending cutscenes, which may explain why some of the story is not really connecting with what is going on in the scenes showed, and not really having the capability of getting that footage without actually completing it. I was not able to put it in the video, and I apologize for that if any of you felt confused during the story. All I could get was the beginning cutscenes, and Outbreak doesn't have an ending cutscene, and that was the only one that I was able to complete because it is that fucking hard. It is that hard. I've done a majority of the Black Ops 4 Easter eggs. I mean, I'm sure that they are easy, but the fucking gameplay of Exo Zombies makes it incredibly hard. Incredibly hard. And I know that there's a bunch of cuts and shit throughout this video. I'm still learning how to talk over while reading a script. It's really hard for me, and I do not know why. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I love every single one of you.